Hi everyone, I'm Robbyn Battles with John Hart Real Estate, and welcome to the first episode of Year of the House. The purpose of Year of the House is a couple of things. One is I want to help you just have very simple, easy tips to either get your home ready to sell or simply maintain your existing home. I want to find out, who are you fans of? Who are your favorite contractors? For instance, for this episode, we're going to need a painter, we're going to need a window and door guy, maybe an electrician, all of those. And if you are fans of one of those types of contractors, I want you to let me know. Today we're going to talk about your front entrance. It's one of the most important aspects of your house. Why? Because it's the first impression you make with your buyers. So you go and show a house, and now I've got a buyer, and the buyer's standing here. Do you know what the buyer's doing while I'm trying to unlock the door? They're doing this. They're looking up, they're looking over, they're looking at every detail as they're waiting to get into your house. So here's what you want them to see. You want them to see beautiful new hardware. You want them to see fresh, clean paint. You know what you don't want them to see? Look over here. You don't want them to see dirty windowsills. Something as simple as wiping that down will give a better first impression. So let's take a look at this front porch. Obviously, there was a fresh coat of paint needed, but instead, this homeowner got pretty smart. They went and got an indoor-outdoor rug, and it does a couple things. One, it makes this little area look like a cute little room. This homeowner also has 3 dogs. So all that dirt from the in and out gets trapped in this rug, so that helps keep the house a little bit cleaner. And here's the other thing. This little rug makes this area look like it's a little room. It's a piece of the house. So here's a couple other things that you can do to make your front entrance come alive. Add some potted plants. Some people have a really green thumb, some people don't. So I'm gonna beg you, please, if you do not have a green thumb, please do not get beautiful pots and put fake plants in them. Go get some drought tolerance. They'll last throughout the time when your house is up for sale. If you're not moving, then they're gonna last just as long. If you have a green thumb, go get something pretty and change the color out. So have you ever walked up to someone's front door and there's 100 pairs of shoes? Please don't do that. Get a basket. Take all those dirty shoes, dump them in the basket, so when someone walks up to your house, hey, you know, it's an organized mess, but it's in a pretty basket. It just makes the front entrance a lot more welcoming. So they did a great job on painting, new door, and look what happened. Uh-oh. Oh! Okay, they forgot the doorbell. All right, maybe they should fix that. Also, screens. Please make sure the screens, if they are on your front entrance, are nice and clean. All right, I want to get down to some nitty-gritty details about your front entrance. First off, make sure you've cleaned out all the cobwebs. You want the top of your ceiling and your front entrance to be nice and clean. Light fixtures, same thing. Make sure you dust them off. This little house here, this used to be an ugly black mailbox. Got a little bit of satin nickel paint, spray painted it, put it back on, looks 100% better. Details, hardware. It can be really expensive, but it can certainly clean up a front door. Make sure you buy some fresh hinges, do a fresh door, like doorknobs. I don't think people have doorknobs anymore, do they? Maybe you have a doorknob, but whatever you have, make sure it's clean, make sure it's pretty. I mean, check this out. This is brand new. Beautiful piece of hardware. It makes such a difference when you walk up to a front door, and it's so nice to open a beautiful piece of hardware. Make sure it's all nice and clean down below. You don't want to step on a dirty threshold. Nobody needs a dirty threshold clean. All right, here's what we need to do now. Let's look at the whole thing. What do you think? It's got a nice fresh coat of paint on the front door. It's got nice new hardware. Painted, has a nice rug. It looks clean, it looks inviting, because I'll tell you what, this was not clean and inviting before. This was ugly green. It had old hardware, it had dirty paint, it had beaten up furniture on the front porch. It was not looking its best. So make it look the best. You don't have to spend a lot of money. If you want to, you can go spend $2,000 on a new front door. But if you're gonna sell your house, you don't need to spend $2,000 on a new front door. There's a thing called the bone pile. If you call a window and door guy, ask him what he's got on his bone pile. He's probably got some windows, he's probably got some molding, and he's probably got some doors. So here's what I'm gonna ask you. Do you have a door and window guy? Who are you a fan of? Let me know who they are. I'll put them on my preferred vendor list. If you're thinking about selling your house now, maybe 5 years from now, pick up the phone and ask me to come over to your house and let me walk through your house, and let's talk about what you need to focus on and maybe some things you don't need to focus on, because a lot of times I find out when I'm in a seller's house that they have this laundry list of things that they want to do. And then I go through it one by one with them and figure out, you don't need to spend all that money on new countertops. It's more important to look at something else. I hope you got some really interesting tips that'll help you make your entrance a lot better than it already is. So if you've got some tips for me, or you need some help from me, give me a call and invite me over. In addition to that, get ready for our next episode. We're going to talk about overwhelm. You walk into some of these houses and people have lived there 30, 40, 50 years, and they've got so much stuff they don't know where to start. Well, we're going to talk about how you get organized and how you get that all worked out. We're going to go over to a new seller's house, and she wasn't overwhelmed because she lived in her house for so long. She's overwhelmed because this poor lady, her house almost burnt down to the ground. Everything she owns is in storage or in her backyard. So we're going to take a tour of her backyard, and we're going to talk about how we finished all her contractors, got her ready to get on the market, and helped her deal with the emotional overwhelm. I'm Robbyn Battles with John Hart Real Estate, and this is the Year of the House.